What if the part of you thought you had to kill off in order to level up was actually the bit that you needed? You know, the wild-hearted, free-spirited, that energetic, charismatic bit of you that makes you uniquely you? What if you actually needed that to be able to do the hard things you need to do in a way that was completely and uniquely you, an expression of yourself? And what if the vision of you that you thought you needed to become, you know, the stuffed shirt, the real stiff, wooden, I'm a soldier kind of guy, going in to do battle because you know you've got to do hard things, that part, the part that makes you procrastinate because you don't really want to be that, clearly. You know, the bit that's completely obsessed with fear, the kind of fear that shuts you down and puts you into a fight or flight mode, the one that makes you completely unresponsive and unresourceful, that fear. Oh, let's be real, that guy can't tie his shoelaces. I mean, they're never going to have the kind of raw energy, the charisma, the wild heart, the creativity, the sales, leadership, any of that to be able to do something that really works in the real world. We all know this. So maybe there's a missing piece. There is. We need to take the part of you that you're scared of losing and insert it into the hard things that you know you need to do to get the results you want. So yeah, you need to be disciplined because everything you want in life is on the other side of the thing that you're most dreading doing. We all know that. But rather than going into it like a soldier and white knuckling your way through, what if we took the essence of who you really are at your core and inserted that into the activities of doing new uncomfortable things so that you didn't burn out, you didn't tear down the entire life that you've created, you weren't abusive to your friends and family, and most importantly, so that you didn't decide that this stuff wasn't you and either go and look for something else or just quit and binge on Netflix in your PJs, which, by the way, let's be real, that's what most people want to do, right? I mean, when they say they want to be rich, they want to be successful, that's what they're really saying. They're saying, I want enough money to wake up in the morning and go F you to anybody who tells me what to do or tries to tell me what to do. I want to be able to laze around on a beach or in front of the TV or doing whatever it is that I think is fun that day without any obligation. And the problem with that is that when you get it without effort, when you get reward without earning it, what happens? It's not like this is a new story. What really happens is you feel pressure. People are going to try and take it away. And if you lose it, how are you ever going to get that back? How are you going to interact with your friends and your family? I mean, they're all going to want stuff from you now. Who can you trust? I mean, the pressure just to keep what you've got, not losing it through tax, not losing it through a bunch of things that you don't understand, that pressure isolates you. And then you've got to learn emotional management, how to manage huge amounts of stress, much more than anything you thought you would need to go to actually have earned it in the first place. In other words, you didn't build your character at the same time that you were building wealth or prestige or whatever it is you're after. Now, maybe wealth and prestige isn't the reason you're watching this. You might want a better body and to get yourself into shape. Well, there's going to be pain. Yeah? Or you might want a partner to find your true love. There's going to be pain. People are brutal, especially when you're trying to find somebody who's your soulmate. Whatever it is you're going after, you're going to have to stretch and you're going to have to grow, and there's going to be pain. And I promise you, if you step into it with your chest up, all defiant, thinking the world's against you, is that the mindset of a champion? Or is that a victim? Everybody's out to get me. I've got to fight everybody. I mean, it's sold like a champion mindset sometimes, but if you really think about it, that's victim mentality, isn't it? You against the world because they're all out to get you, and oh my gosh, I don't know how to handle it. I don't really know what I'm doing. It only takes a small tweak. We can literally turn our lives around the second we go, and that's okay. Yeah? I'm a hot mess. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm figuring it out, and that's cool. This is a journey. Here's the point. If somebody's offered you a certain amount of money to pay you hourly and you've agreed to it, you bought their vision. They sold you, and that's what you're worth. Let that sink in. You're the one that gave them permission to dictate your worth. Now, I'm not talking about just a simple job. I'm talking about a mindset. This will change your life if you let it sink in. And you can do this with partners. You can do this with the physical condition of your body. At the end of the day, if somebody's dictated terms and you've agreed to them, you gave them permission to set the standard for your life. Now, you could have a job and be working a second job and have 3 or 4 different side hustles on the side. That's not letting somebody dictate how much you're worth. There's a difference. You follow me? This is leveling up. The first person we need to sell that you can do more is you, because there is no one coming to save you. They would have already done it. So when I have these conversations with people, the thing that comes up is, yeah, but I'm not like that. Or the big one. Well, is that right? You know, I mean, okay, it might be like that, but you know, is that wrong? Is it right? That's not really the question. See, if we were living in a small village and we were beside a volcano and that volcano erupted, you could sit around and question, is it right that the volcano is erupting? Now, we've evolved to the point where we realize that's probably not the right question to ask in that situation. What you need to do is run like hell so you don't get fried. We're in a similar situation at the moment. Even if you decide that modern finance isn't for you, you need it to survive. You don't have a choice. If you want to go and take bread from someone without paying for it, they're going to lock you in jail. That's called stealing. You need money to survive. Whether you think the system is right or wrong, you're in a position where you need to run, move, make things happen. And the only way to do that is to take responsibility, to acquire skills like sales, leadership, and creativity that can honestly, in real time and in the real world, elevate your life. Now, you don't need to make $1 million straight up. I'm not talking about that. You don't need to quit your job and go all nuts. That's not what I'm talking about. Right now, you go, okay, set a 90-day goal to level up, to take myself to the next level, just to prove that I can do it to myself. You don't even need to tell anyone. Just set something that's just slightly beyond what you think you can do. Here's the thing about goal setting. You need to set a target. Then you need to scan the terrain and find the best practices for whatever you're trying to do. Find the killers in that industry and what are they doing? What's best practice? Then you need to use your own intuition and creativity. Where's the angle? What haven't people thought of yet? How can you tweak it? What can you do to add your own twist to things? And then get in the game before you're ready. Because the place to make decisions is in the arena, not from the sidelines. You don't really know what you're talking about until you've had some sort of experience in it. And then you just need to adapt. You need to learn to pivot and adapt in real time. So grab a pen and paper and sit down. And this is what I'd like you to do. On the left-hand side of the page, write down everything you will no longer settle for. How do you do that? Write down everything that's upsetting you. What's really irking you? What's not right yet? Get it all out. Put everything that you possibly can on the left-hand side of the page. Then once you've done that, draw a line down the center of the page and write its polar opposite on the right. If you really want to level up, you're now looking at everything that has been annoying you, and you've now got its polar opposite, what you really want. Because a lot of people go, what do you want? It's really hard to think of sometimes. Well, now you know what you want. You want that, not this. And the difference is you. So the question then becomes, what are you going to do about it? And that requires creativity, sales, and leadership mixed with discipline, but real discipline. You at your best in difficult situations, working through them in a manner that you can sustain and that improves your life every single day until you make this irrelevant because you are living this. That's called stepping up. That's called leveling up. That's the only way to do it. You need to first use your creativity to come up with what you're after in the first place. And then you're going to have to sell yourself and the entire world on ways to do that. And I can help with that. If you're enjoying this material, subscribe to the channel, because this is a channel on how to do exactly that.